Hi. Figure it's time for an update. It's been a little bit, and a lot of things have changed since last time. The bucket tomatoes seem to be doing okay. There's plenty of flowers on them, and they're kind of growing taller, but I can't say that they're very lush. The onions that are in the buckets also seem to be struggling a little bit. They don't seem to be flourishing. They're still kind of brown on the tips. Maybe they're struggling from the transplant still. I know what's most important about the onions is what's going on underground, not what's going on above ground, but I suspect the top indicators are kind of reflecting what goes on with the onion itself down below, but I know they were pretty traumatized by the transplanting. And the pepper that's in the buckets seems healthy, seems happy. It's got a little tiny bud growing on it. It doesn't really seem to be flourishing all that much, but all the peppers seem to be a little behind. We'll take a look at those in a little bit. The raised beds, that's where I'm at right now, are a lot better environment for the plants. It seems like, they're closer to being in the ground that way. Like, that's probably the ideal situation, is growing in the ground, and buckets are a tough environment. And the tomatoes are plenty lush down in the beds. They seem to be pretty happy and growing fast. We kind of had to put them into production mode. We put the cages on everything. It's nice to visit the plants and see the plants without the cages for a while, but now that they're getting large and flowering and hopefully fruiting out before too long, we had to get the cages on them, because it's certainly a lot easier to get them on when they're small than when they're big. I need to get the irrigation put in. That'll probably be the next video. I've got to put the drip irrigation in. We've kind of expecting some rain this afternoon, and we've been getting off and on rain, so it hasn't been all that critical. After a couple of days without rain, I checked the ground and I'll hand water them, but I think it's time to get the irrigation going in them. It's supposed to turn summer. It did just turn summer on the calendar. Okay, on the orbit of the planet around the sun. So I suspect we're gonna need to get some irrigation going on here soon. With the tomatoes, the marigold that's inside of them doesn't seem to be real happy, which isn't surprising. It's getting blocked out of the sun quite a bit. The beans are doing really well. There's lots of flowers on them. There's even a bean on one of them, right? And lots of flowers. They're looking pretty happy, and we're very encouraged by that, because we really enjoyed the beans that we got last year, so we're really hoping for a good crop this year. And the peppers are awful small for producing peppers already. Two of these things have a pepper on them, and they're very small plants. I'm not sure. It was suggested to me, I'm not sure what to do. It was suggested to me that I should be clipping the buds and the flowers off. I did some research. That's not real conclusive, so I'm not sure if I want to do that. And now that two of them have fruits on them, I really don't want to do it on them. And they're kind of yellow. I don't know why. I have put a little bit of fertilizer in this one, and the bed tested out good. We tested them for nutrients this year, and they tested good. So it's either a watering situation or they need a little bit more fertilizer. So I started a tea, so I can give them a little bit more fertilizer. We'll see if we can help them out. That in the irrigation will probably help them to get them on a more consistent watering schedule. The potatoes, though, are really lush. They're pretty close to the ground. They are kind of in a raised bed, but more in the ground than not. And they're very happy. Their soil is damp. I can't call it wet. I can't call it moist. It's a little bit damp if I dig down. So I think they're in a really good situation. And the onion spares, or what I've been calling the onion spares, ones that wouldn't fit in buckets that are planted next to the potatoes, seem to be loving it down there. Even the ones that had gotten eaten off at ground level are coming back. They all seem to be pretty happy. So I'm really pleased with how the onions are doing down there, and pretty excited. This is the first time we've ever tried growing a regular onion. These are just a white onion. Last year we grew green onions, so this year we're trying these new, and we're pretty excited about that because we use a fair amount of onions. So I haven't been really good at updates so far this year. We've had a lot of distractions going on. We've had less than ideal weather for doing updates, and I plan to get back on track now that we've passed our amateur radio license. That was one of the distractions we had going on. So with summer now, officially here, and the weather going to be changing, I suspect I'll be doing more updates and more frequently, and hopefully there's a lot more things going on that we can show you. So anyhow, that's the quick update. I appreciate you being here, and thanks for watching.